and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, my trusty TBR jar has returned to help me pick out my November TBR. So the last couple TBRs, I have used like a random number generator or something like that. But in this go around, we are returning to the good old tried and true prompt jar, because if you haven't seen like my doing book stuff video, I got a chance to top this off and also take out some prompts that weren't working out so hot for me. So this is some new and some old all mixed in together, which I'm very excited about. So without further ado, I'm going to be choosing 8 prompts to select 8 books for my November reading. In happy news, I am finally out of my reading slump. Thank you to all of the books that I read that got me there. I will go over those in my October reading wrap up. But for now, just know that I am finally regularly reading again, which is a huge win. So without further ado, let's pick our, honestly, I think we'll just go with the one that went flying out. There we are. A book that was gifted to you. This is actually wonderful because The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and The Sunrise on the Reaping were both presents from my parents for my birthday in July. So honestly, I'm just going to add both of these because if I'm going to read one, I would like to read the other and kind of like get back into the Hunger Games universe like as a whole. So we'll be adding 2 books to my TBR using that particular prompt. And I'm going to set the pile right here for now. All right, next prompt is going to be, let's go with this one. The most recent addition to your TBR. Okay, so I have some books I purchased that have not arrived yet. So unfortunately, I won't be able to use any of those, but that includes like Good Spirits by B.K. Borison, which I am so excited to get to. But I actually went to my local library does like a friends of the library like gift shop, not gift shop, but bookshop sort of thing where like people donate their books and then they resell them and the profits go to the library. So I bought a copy of People Watching by Hannah Bonham Young from the Friends of the Library book sale this past weekend. So I am going to be adding this to my TBR as well. My understanding is that it's about kind of small town, romance, that kind of thing. I'm not sure too much about it. A small town woman's journey to spread her wings intertwines with the arrival of an adventurous newcomer who brings out the best in her. So I've heard very mixed things about this, but I am excited to give, Hannah Bonham Young a try because I haven't read any of her books yet. And I know Out on a Limb and is very popular. Into the Woods was kind of mixed, but I am excited to give her writing a try. Then let's draw again. All right. We have a book from a subscription. So this section, if you can't tell, is from subscription services. But I already know what I'm going to pick because I've been dying to get a hold of it. Oh my gosh, it's like wedged in there so good. Okay. I am choosing The Second Death of Locke, which has been so highly reviewed by the people that I watch on YouTube. So I am excited for this, but I'm not too familiar with the plot. Gray Flynn has dedicated her life to her mage Kier. She will be his blade on the battlefield, his healer and protector. The deep well of raw power inside her is Kier's to use. Gray would do anything for Kier, be anything for him if only he would ask. When a quest to protect the child of an enemy kingdom pulls them into the dangerous heart of their nation's war, Gray and Kier will need to decide whether they are willing to sacrifice to protect their secret. For Gray is no ordinary magical well, but the heir to the lost Isle of Locke, the root of all power. If she dies, all magic dies with her. So I'm very excited to get to this month. This has actually been kind of floating around my fall reads kind of list, which I didn't post because obviously things have not been going great with the reading until recently. So I am excited to get to this, and we will throw it kind of underneath the pile because my perfectionist side demands that this is like in semi-size order. So now let's pull our fourth prompt, which is going to be, Mondia, sorry. A book with less than 300 pages. Okay. All right, let's see. So I think I would love for a Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Mandana to be less than 300. I think we're going to be a little over. Yeah, we're like in 335 territory, which is sad. Okay, let's look at Strange Sally Diamond. This book came highly recommended to me by a really good friend of mine. She reads mostly like thrillers and mysteries, and she said this was her favorite book. So I'm kind of hoping that I can read this. Oh, I'm so pissed. It's like 308 pages. Yeah, okay. Do I just call this good enough? I know it's technically kind of cheating. And I know that I have other books on here that's probably less than 300 pages. Like maybe God Killer or maybe The Spare. But honestly, this is what I want to read, and I really want to like be able to tell Becca how I felt about it. So we're just going to say like those 8 pages included like the acknowledgments and the publishing page and the epilogue, and you get what I mean. So I'm thwarting the rules a little bit, but please excuse me. Next we have, let's see, a book written by a favorite author. Okay, so I have 2 candidates here. Let me see if there's anything else that I want to add into the mix. Maybe Gloves Off by Stephanie Archer. That's a good idea too. Okay, so we'll throw that in the mix. I haven't decided anything yet. Okay, so we have Gloves Off by Stephanie Archer, which is the final book in the Vancouver Storm series, which is a hockey romance series. I think it's like my second favorite like sports romance series, and I've been dying to like read the story between these two. So like I hate to love sort of bickering sort of situation. And then we have Elizabeth Lim. She wrote like Six Crimson Cranes and Spin the Dawn, Unravel the Dusk, those books, which I adore. And then I also have Sue Lynn Tan's Never Ever After. And she wrote like Daughter of the Moon Goddess, Heart of the Sun Warrior, Immortal, all of those I've loved as well. Honestly, I kind of want to do like a this or that video between these two because they're both like fairy tale retellings with like an element of like Asian legends in it. And I think it would be really interesting to see like which one I prefer or if I love them both. This seems to be more of like this I think was Beauty and the Beast retelling or Cinderella. I can't remember. And then this one I think is Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, Beauty and the Beast for this one and Cinderella for this one. So I'm kind of like, I kind of want to do a this or that video. Maybe I will do what I did with Songbirds and Sunrise and do both of these. I'm just going to do that. I know that by picking 2 books for 2 prompts, I'm kind of blowing up the I choose 8 books thing. But realistically, I've never finished a TBR. So, if this does mean and I don't finish this month's TBR, it's not shocking. But I do hope that I get there someday. Like that would be the goal. I usually do a pretty good job about finishing like my TBR for the whole year. And I need to do a video on that because I've got 7 out of 18 books left that I need to read. So I'm just under like 65% of the way there. So we'll at some point we might have to do a reading blog focusing on getting a little bit more caught up with those. But in the meantime, next prompt is because I'm 5 prompts in. So this is prompt 6, which I'm dropping, of course, is a reread. Oh, this is exciting. If I was smart, I would use this to reread the first book in a series that I want to continue. Oh, I have the perfect book. Because I just ordered it's a duology and I just ordered the second book and it got delivered. I will be back. All right, I'm back. So the thing is, these are not seasonally appropriate. I would say these are very much summer reads. It is Isle of the Gods by Amy Kaufman, and then I finally got a hold of The Heart of the World, which is the sequel and the final book in this duology. Bean, you can't see him, but Bean's literally right under the tripod, and he's going to bolt, and like the whole setup's going to shift. So let me come on, scooch. All right. But I'm going to choose this as my reread so that I can read this in like a finishing series. I am in the middle of vlog. So I guess both of these are kind of going on my TBR, and I'm kind of blowing up the whole, we're limiting it to 8 books so I can finish it. But, you know, who knows? This might be the month where I finally finish my whole TBR, which would be amazing, which would be great, which would make me so very happy. So we have 2 more prompts, and we are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books. Okay. I have no one to blame but myself. Next prompt is going to be, well, that's a really long prompt. A book that will complete a series you're in the middle of. Perfect. I'm cheating. The Heart of the World. There we go. Now I can kind of undo a little bit of the damage I've been doing. All right, that is for my reread and a book that will complete the series I'm in the middle of. There we go. Solved. All right, last book, last prompt, last book, which will make this 10 since I doubled up on a few, and that is a book that does not start with the.
5 minutes later.
I'm very torn in between Gloves Off, Catabasis, and A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping, none of which start with the. You know what? Looking at this, we've got like a thriller / mystery, like contemporary romance, and then we've got like fantasy / romantasy. So maybe we do. No, you know what? I'm going to do A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping because, hear me out, I have been waiting for this book. I like the release date kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, and I have been dying to read this. And it got pushed back so much that it's now seasonally appropriate, so I'm going to be choosing this. I will probably get to Gloves Off in the next couple months. It is like pretty high up there, especially since it would finish a series for me, which would benefit my series, like my series tracker. So I don't think that this is far behind, but I really, really, really would like to read this. So that being said, this is our final stack. We have 2 more books than should be on here because, you know, I misbehaved. But we have A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping, which follows a girl who basically overextends her magic to resurrect somebody, and there's like consequences for that. She like loses her ability to use magic and, you know, all that mess. We have Strange Sally Diamond, which I'm actually not too familiar about this plot. I just picked it up solely based on Becca's word. It says, for Sally Diamond, people are unpredictable and hard to read. She has always preferred routine to spontaneity and silence to noise. Adopted at age 6, she cannot remember any details of her childhood before then. Now 43, Sally finds the truth coming into sharp focus when her past becomes headline news. She endured something unthinkable as a child, and now the entire world knows exactly who she is. Suddenly, Sally finds herself in the spotlight. People everywhere are digging into her past. Sally is learning things about herself and her family that she never knew before. Soon, a stranger sends her a familiar teddy bear in the mail. But why does he call her Mary? And why is her new neighbor so obsessed with her? Told from the alternating perspectives of Sally in the present and a boy named Peter in the past, this is a novel that confronts the trauma of family secrets and explores one woman's brave decision to define herself and her future. So I am excited for that. But, you know, like I said before, Becca's word is sufficient for me. We then have People Watching by Hannah Bonham Young about, you know, a mentor and like student sort of relationship for someone who's, you know, not particularly out there. So like a contemporary romance. Isle of the Gods, this has kind of got like pirate vibes, the chosen one pirate kind of vibes. It's been a while since I read it, which is why I wanted to reread it before jumping into its sequel, The Heart of the World. And like I said, these are very summary coded books, so this is not very seasonally appropriate, but I have been kind of eyeballing The Heart of the World. It's been in and out of my cart for probably like 8 months now, so it's well overdue. Then we have Sunrise on the Reaping, which is Haymitch's story. If you're familiar with the Hunger Games series, Haymitch is the mentor for the main character in that trilogy. And mentors are people who have survived the games. So it is kind of his story of how he ended up winning his games. And then we have The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which is President Snow's story. He is kind of the president of Panem during the original trilogy, and he's very like psychopathic, almost sociopathic. And, you know, you kind of wonder how he got to where he is today, how he landed him, you know, how he mentally can justify all of this. And so this is kind of his backstory. They made a movie of this one, obviously, if you haven't seen it. I have seen like 3/4 of that movie. And I've heard it's a pretty decent departure. Like the book is a pretty decent departure. So I am curious to see how those two kind of line up together. And then, as I said before, we have A Forgery of Fate, about a girl who makes her living kind of forging stuff. She gets involved in like political whatevers. And I'm excited to see where that goes. And then we have Never Ever After, which is another kind of blend of like Eurocentric fairy tales and Asian-centric fairy tales, which I'm excited about. And of course, The Second Death of Locke. So that is the final total for November. I have kind of some ideas for some videos already, so hopefully you guys will be seeing those soon. But as always, thank you for joining me. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to stick around, please subscribe. Either way, thanks for being here. Bye-bye.